So you just got some money on your Cash App from a parent, and you walk past this vending machine and you notice that it has your favorite candy in it, which are nerd clusters. Well, maybe that's not your favorite candy, but it is mine. So feel free to bring me some at any time. But hey, that's besides the point. So you see nerd clusters, they're $1.50. And if you wanted to buy one thing of nerd clusters, it would cost $1.50. If you bought two, it would be $3. If you bought three, it would be $4.50, right? Because for every nerd cluster, it is $1.50. Well, that situation, as you know, is a linear function, right? And so in today's lesson, we are going to be looking at functions that are graphed, and we're just going to be creating a table so that we can see what the amounts would be. Again, in this situation, if we bought some number of nerd clusters, how much the total cost would be. So, hey, let's dive into the lesson. Hey, what's up, chat? Welcome to Unit 8, Day 4. Okay, we are creating tables of values of linear functions. All right. Hey, so we got two different ways that we're going to create tables. The first is from a graph. The graph part is going to be easy money. The second part is going to be from equations. That's not hard, but it is going to require a little more work than the first. All right. So, hey, in this first one, when we are going to be creating a table of values represented by the graph, this one is really simple. Okay. So you have this line that is graphed, and I was kind enough to provide the dots for you. I will say normally those dots won't be there. You're just going to have a line, and you're going to have to figure out where the dots are yourself, okay? And so we have each of these dots here, and all we need to do is identify the coordinates. Well, you do need to know, right, how to name these, right? We first need to move along the x-axis, then we move along the y. So we go, for this point, we would be back -2, and we would be down -2. So those are the coordinates there. For this one, we're moving -1, and then we're not moving up, so it would be -1, 0. For this one, we're not moving left or right along the x-axis, then we're moving up 1. And then for this last one, we're going over 2, and then that is over 1, and then we're going up 4, okay? So those are my coordinates for each of the points, and then I just put them into my table. Okay, so we got -2, -2, then we got -1, 0, then we got 0, 1, and then we have 1, 4. All right, easy money. All right, now, so I want you to go ahead and pause this next example. And again, I was kind enough to give you the points labeled. So find the points, label them, and then just put it in the XY table. All right, so we got, these are our points that are labeled, and we're just making a table from it. So we got, this point is -1, -5. This is 0, -3. This is 1, -1. Then we have 2, 1. Then we have 3, 3. And then lastly, we have 4, 5. Okay, so then let's put our points into our table. -1, -5, 0, -3, 1, -1, 2, 1, 3, 3, and then 4, 5. All right. Okay. All right. Last one. I want you to do this one. Do this one on your own again. All right. So do this one on your own. Identify, again, we have 4 rows, so we need 4 points. So I need you to identify 4 points, and then find the coordinates, and then put those coordinates in the table. All right, so we got a point here at the y-intercept. We got a point there. We could go a point here, and we could go a point there. All right, so those are 4 points that fall on our graph. Okay, and then, right, let's put the coordinates. So we got -3, 5, and then we have 0, 4. Then we have 3, 3. And then we have 6, 2. All right. So we got negative 3, 5, 0, 4, 3, 3, and then 6, 2. All right. All right. So that is it for when it is a graph. All you got to do, identify points, make sure the table matches it. All right. Now for this next one, we now have an equation, and this time we are making a table from the equation. All right. And so the x values are given to me, but I got to figure out what is the y values. All right. And so what I'm going to do is there's two ways to do this. One, I'm going to show you by hand, and then two, I'm going to show you with the calculator. Okay. So what we're doing is we're taking these x's and we're putting them in. We're substituting them in for the x. So we got negative 2. Then I'm going to put in 0. Okay. So I'm going to be times 0 and then plus 2. All right. And then that's going to give me what the y equals. So negative 2 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 2 is going to give me 2. So my y then would be 2. Okay. Then, all right, I'm going to do negative 2 times 1. So I'm putting each of these values in for the x. So times 1 and then plus 2. Okay. So negative 2 times 1 is going to give me negative 2. Negative 2 plus 2 is going to give me 0. So my answer is 0 there. Then negative 2 times, again, I'm going to substitute in 2 for the x, plus 2 equals, all right, so negative 2 times 2 is negative 4. Negative 4 plus 2 is going to give me, a positive 2. Negative 4 plus 2 is a negative 2. That's right, negative 2. All right, so we are negative 2 there. All right, and then we got negative 2. Again, I'm putting in the 3 times 3 plus 2. Okay, so negative 2 times 3 is going to give me negative 6. Negative 6 plus 4, plus 2 is going to give me negative 4. So I got negative 4 there. And then lastly, negative 2. Again, I'm just taking each of the values and I'm plugging them in. Times 4 plus 2 equals. So negative 2 times 4 is negative 8. Negative 8 plus 2 is negative 6. And so here is my table for this one. Okay. Hey, real quick, I do want to show you how to do this in Desmos. Okay, just because I know some of us, operating with integers can be a bit of a challenge, and that is okay. We do have the calculator as a tool to help us with that. So let me, okay. So what we could do is we could put, right, our expression. Let's see if I can put y equals. I'm not sure if I can put y equals. So let's see if that works. Plus x plus 2. All right, and now I'm going to tell it what x equals. X equals, first time it was 0. Okay? Yeah. All right, and so I could just put in it exactly, our function exactly as it is. And as you see, right, y equals negative 2x plus 2. When I put in 0, I get 2. Okay? All right? And then the next value we had was, let me move this down. Okay? Let's look. The next value we had was 1. Okay? So when x equals 1, we have that it equals 0. So I'm just checking my answers here. All right? Then when I had 2, all right, we see that it equals negative 2 there. Okay, so again, I can use Desmos also, right, to check, right, or this is another way to find, right. When I put in x equals 3, I see that it equals negative 4. All right, so I wanted you to see that. We're going to continue on. I do, for the sake of today's lesson, we're going to do it by hand, but I also want you to know you can use your Desmos calculator as well. All right, so hey, I want you to pause it and see if you can do the next example on your own. Again, there is a 1/2 there, okay, but just think when you're taking half of something, you're just dividing it by 2. All right, so 1/2 of something is just dividing it by 2. See if you can figure it out, and then check your answers. All right, so first we got 1/2 times -2 plus 4, okay? So 1/2 times -2, so half of -2 is gonna give you -1, right? I'm dividing that by 2. So -1 plus 4 is gonna give me 3. So our answer is 3 there. Then we have 1/2 times, again, I'm gonna put in 0, okay? Plus 4, okay? So 1/2 of 0, anything times 0 is 0, plus 4 is gonna give me 4, okay? Then we got 1/2 times 2 plus 4, okay? So we got 1/2, again, I'm plugging that 2 in, times 2, 1/2 of 2 is 1, 1 plus 4 is 5, okay? Then we got 1/2 times, I'm plugging in 4 plus 4 equals, so 1/2 of 4, 1/2 of 4 is 2, 2 plus 4 is 6, okay? So we got 6 here. And then we have 1/2 times 6 plus 4. So half of 6 is 3, and then 3 plus 4 is 7. And hopefully as you were watching me do that, you begin to see the pattern, right? You saw the pattern kind of unfolding, all right? Now, again, really quickly, let me see if this will cooperate with me. All right, I'm just going to plug this in, right? I just want to show you how you can use Desmos to help you with these, right? So we can write the function y equals 1/2 x plus 4, all right? And then we just got to tell it what x equals. So x equals -2, okay? And I see that is 3. Then x equals 0, and I see that's 4. Just checking my work. Equals 2. I see that equals 5. Enter 4, and I see it equals 6. And then lastly, 6, and I get 7. All right? So, on this last one, I want you to start by, again, you're going to substitute each of the values in. And I also want you to check it in Desmos as well. So I want you to do both just because we're learning how to do this. I still want you to do it by hand. Don't just exclusively use the calculator. All right, so go ahead and do this last one on your own. All right, so this time we got -x. So that means we got to take the opposite, okay? So I got a -2, then I got another negative here, so that really becomes a positive. So I want you to think of this negative as the opposite of what's in the x, okay? So this is actually a +2 plus 2, and that's going to equal 4. And then we got -1 plus 2, again, these two negatives is going to make that positive. So we got +1 plus 2. That's going to give me 3. Then we got a -0. There's no -0, so that's just going to be 0 plus 2, and that's going to equal 2. All right. Then we got negative. Okay, I'm going to put in the 1 for the x plus 2, and that's going to give me 1. Okay. And then we got -2 plus 2, and that's going to give me 0. All right? And then let's just take a look at it in Desmos really quickly. All right, so we got our equation would be negative x plus 2. Okay? And then we're putting in our values, right? We got -2. When we did that, we got 4. Then we had -1. When we did that, we got 3. Then we got 0. We got 2. 1, 1, and then 0. We got 2. I'm sorry. It should be, I did that backwards. 2, and we got 0. All right. Hey, so hopefully that helps. Pretty simple. But in this lesson, we've learned how to create tables from equations and graphs.